Welcome back to the Elam's Board YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you guys the exact diet strategies I used to get me looking like this to looking like this. So before I get into that, I want to give a shout out to my boy Wen Raccoon. He's been showing a lot of love and a lot of support for the channel. This video is in response to one of the comments that he's dropped asking what kind of diet I follow that has allowed me to bulk up. So that's a very good question, and it's something that I struggled with myself for many years as well. Quick background, I was always super skinny growing up. I was one of those Asian kids that just couldn't put on weight, even though I felt like I was trying really hard to eat heaps, and I just felt like I couldn't put on weight. So eventually I did my research and I experimented and I figured out exactly what I needed to do in terms of training and eating to build muscle and to get stronger. So that's what I'm going to be sharing in this video. In this video, I'm mainly going to be talking about diet, but I do want to quickly say that in order to bulk up, to put on muscle, you definitely need to be doing resistance training. So that might look like training in the gym, lifting weights. It might be doing body weight stuff and increasing the difficulty of that. Okay, so you could do physical training in a lot of different forms, but you need to be doing good physical training in order to stress your muscles so that they will adapt and grow. So I'll be doing a video at some point in the next couple weeks to talk about training 101, especially if you're a bit of a beginner, you don't know where to get started. That video will really help you structure your own training and decide what exercises you need to do. So subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when that video drops. Back to today's topic though, it's all about diet and how you can plan your diet to help you gain muscle or help you bulk up. I am fully aware that I am not a very bulky and big dude. I weigh in at a humble like 72 kilos at 175 centimeters tall, which is about 5'9", and what, 72 kilos is like 150, like 150 pounds. So I'm a pretty small guy, but over the past 5 to 10 years, I have trained hard and put on a decent amount of muscle and a decent amount of strength. So hopefully what I've got to say can still be helpful for some of you guys out there. So let's get into it. Basically, to bulk up, what I found is that there's two principles to follow. Eat more and to eat right. So eat more, okay, it's not rocket science. Basically, to put on weight, you need to be eating more calories than the amount of calories that you're burning through just being alive and your exercise and your activity. How much energy it takes each person to stay alive varies. How much energy it takes one person to run 5Ks is going to be completely different to how much energy it takes another person. It's all custom to that individual. So what you need to do is figure out how much you need to be eating in order for you to gain weight. So that is the first step. For myself, in my kind of teenage years and early 20s, my metabolism was crazy fast. So basically what I had to do was I had to eat 3,500 to 4,000 calories every day in order to put on weight, and that was a lot of food. Now that I'm a little bit older, my metabolism has slowed down. If I want to put on weight right now, I just need to eat 2,500 to 3,000 calories. And I'm going to get into how you figure that out a little bit later in the video. I've heard a lot of different people say, oh, but it's so hard, like what happens? I get full and I can't eat, I literally can't eat anymore. And to that, I have a couple of thoughts. First thought is, you want to eat more of what you enjoy eating. If you're just trying to stuff yourself with food that you don't even like eating, it's going to be hard to eat a lot of it. But if you are eating food you like eating, then you're going to be able to eat more of it. Okay, it's just simple. Everyone has different foods that are more palatable to them. For example, I can just put down heaps of rice, I can put down bread, I can put down a lot of sweet stuff, but I'm not so good at savory. So if you give me a bag of chips, I start feeling like kind of owned after like half a bag. So I wouldn't be able to eat a lot of that. But cook up some mince and chuck it in rice with some hot sauce, I could eat like a massive bowl of that, double serving all day. You gotta find what works for you as far as eating more. The second thing as far as appetite is you can train it. Your appetite is something that can be trained, and you have to look at it in that way if you're struggling to eat more right now. So for example, I did intermittent fasting a couple months ago, and initially I was super hungry when I was doing my fasting. But after a while, I trained my appetite so that I basically didn't get hungry all throughout the day until I could have my first meal. The gist of that is, if you stay consistent and you continually, slowly eat more and more, your body is going to adapt. And you have to first believe it in your mind before your body is going to follow. Okay, so that is principle number one. Most importantly, if you want to bulk up, you need to be eating more. Secondly though, is about eating right. If you just focus on eating more, but you're eating all kinds of junk, what you're gonna do is get fat. Okay, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, that's probably not what you want. So to eat right, this is a little bit more complicated than just eating more, but it's not that hard. To eat right, there's basically two key things you need to consider. Okay, there's your macronutrients and your micronutrients. Basically, every single food that you could possibly eat consists of a certain number of macronutrients and a certain number of micronutrients. If you can develop a basic understanding of these things, then you're going to be able to figure out what eating right looks like. So let me break it down as simply as I can. For macronutrients, you have your protein, your carbs, and your fat. Every food you eat consists of these things. And these three macronutrients hold different amounts of calories. So 1 gram of protein has 4 calories, 1 gram of carb has 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. So for example, if I were to go eat 200 grams of steak, if I know it's 200 grams, you can go online or you could go on MyFitnessPal, you chuck that in, and it will give you the macros for that 200 gram piece of steak. So it might be like 50 grams of protein, 40 fat, and probably 0 carb for that steak. That's just a guess. So then, if you turn that into calories, 50 grams of protein times 4, that's 200 calories. You got 40 fat times 9, 360 calories, add them up. So that would be a 560 calorie piece of steak that you just ate. Goals for macronutrients and micronutrient intakes. For myself, this is what I shoot for. I keep things super simple. Protein wise, I aim for 2 times my body weight in kilograms of protein every day. So right now I weigh in at 72 kilos. So I aim for 140-ish grams of protein every day. There's a lot of mixed opinions online as far as how much protein you actually need, but this is on the higher side of the estimate. So if you have more protein, it's not going to hurt you. It's kind of just insurance to make sure when you break down your muscles through your training, your body has more than enough protein to rebuild the muscles bigger and stronger. So that's what I shoot for as far as protein intake. That's one metric that I look at. The other metric that I look at as far as a goalpost is total calories. So I don't really care about my carbs and my fat split or anything like that. You know, I'm not a professional bodybuilder or anything like that. All I care about is how many total calories am I getting while hitting my protein goal. So right now I'm trying to maintain or lose a little bit of weight. So I know from trial and error that if I eat about 2,000 to 2,500 calories in that range, I'm going to be able to slowly lose weight, lose fat, and stay lean. So that's basically how I structure my diet. Is I keep track of roughly how much food I'm eating throughout the day, and then at the end of the day I look back, I'm like, yep, that's around 2,500 calories. I hit 140 protein. I know that I'm gonna stay lean. I know that my diet is going well. But how do you reach this level of being able to estimate the nutrition in your food? The answer to that is simple, but it's not easy. Okay, what I would recommend is investing into tracking your macros for 1 to 2 months very, very precisely. So that looks like getting a food scale, and whenever you're eating your usual diet, you just want to weigh your food, search up the nutrition on MyFitnessPal, and basically track what kind of nutrition you're currently getting. If you're having a certain dinner, say you're having like 200 grams of chicken and with some rice and some veggies, you track all of it, and after that what happens is then you get an idea of, okay, so this is what this meal was. It was 800 calories, it had this much protein, this much carbs, this much fat, and then you start building an idea of how much nutrition is in each food and in what meals. And after you do that consistently for 1 to 2 months, you develop the skill to estimate nutrition. And this is a skill that is so vital. If that's anything you take out of this video, it would be this, is once you gain this skill, you gain the ability to basically control your weight, control your body fat levels, and all of that. It's just a matter of if you want to or not. Last thing I want to mention is micronutrients. I touched on that earlier. So every food has your macronutrients that gives you energy, and your micronutrients, which is all your vitamins and your minerals and stuff like that. Those things are key for your body to just be healthy and function as well. So to keep things super short, you just want to be eating your fruits and vegetables. Okay, generally fruits and vegetables are low calorie. Okay, fruits are just predominantly carbs, but they're relatively low calorie. You just want to be eating more fruits and vegetables in general, and that's going to give you more micronutrients and keep you healthy. Another thing you can look into is vitamin supplementation. So there's a lot of vitamins you can go buy out there, like multivitamins and stuff like that to supplement. But the takeaway message here is just make sure you're eating sufficient fruits and veggies. And another important thing to think about is how fast you're gaining weight, because basically how it works is when you train, you break down the muscles, you eat, you get the nutrition to rebuild the muscles, but your body can only do that at a certain pace. So even if you're stuffing yourself with 10,000 calories every day, it doesn't mean you're just gonna like build insane amounts of muscle right away, because there's a limit, there's a ceiling to how quickly your body can build muscle. And again, on this, it really depends on the person's genetics. Some people can pack on muscle super quick, other people can't. A general rule of thumb is if you don't want to be putting on too much fat while you're gaining weight and bulking up, you just want to take things slow. So what slow looks like for me is about half a kilo a month. So half a kilo a month of weight gain, that's going to be mostly muscle if you're training well and eating enough protein. That might seem super slow, but if you think about that pace, if you can keep it up consistently over a year, that's 6 kilograms of muscle that you add on. That's actually a lot. That's enough muscle to completely transform someone's frame. In fact, that is the weight difference between this photo and this photo. It's just 6 kilograms. But to me, it looks quite different. And I know I definitely look a lot different in a t-shirt. So that's the key, is just to stay consistent and be patient and not rush it. So that about sums it up. There's a lot of information out there to do with diet, and honestly, putting on weight and putting on muscle, there's a lot more that I could cover, but in this video, I've just gone over the very basics. If there's any questions you guys have or anything more that you'd like to ask about, just chuck it in the comments below and I will definitely make sure to reply you. I hope this video was helpful. If you're watching this, you're looking to gain some weight, bulk up, eat more, eat right, stay consistent, and that's both with your diet and with your training. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be more videos of this nature coming in the next couple of weeks. I'll be doing one on training, like I mentioned before, and how beginners can structure their workout programs. I'll be doing a full day of eating, okay, and that'll be to fully answer my boy Wen Raccoon's comment about an in-depth guide to my personal diet. And I'll also talk about what if you want to do the opposite. So what if you want to lose weight and lose fat? What is your diet supposed to look like to accomplish that? Again, thanks for tuning in. I love you guys. Till the next one.